This week on Moms Like Us, Spencer Pratt opens up about how being a dad has changed him in all sorts of ways.
Here I am, like in the hotel pool with Gunner with like goggles on and everybody just around me, peeing all around me.
Then Kyle Richards explains how she and husband Mauricio keep their girls grounded.
When my husband and I were first married, we were, I had to have a babysitter one night a week for us to be able to do something because we were not in the financial position to have live-in help or anything like that.
And why Halsey clapped back about their postpartum body after their Saturday Night Live performance.
We are just so equipped to say, oh my God, you look amazing. No matter whether someone just had surgery or someone just had a baby.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Moms Like Us. Welcome to Moms Like Us. I'm Christina, and that's Brianne Mans from Stroller in the City. Brianne, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Christina. How about you?
I'm doing good. Just a couple more weeks till Halloween. I feel like we're, kind of getting in the spirit.
I know. I'm getting really excited for Halloween this year, I have to say.
And me too. I feel like, that we're starting to talk to more people in interviews and they're planning their Halloween costumes. And I can't wait to see everybody's. It's going to be so great.
I know, me too. Although I have to say, in our house, we're so undecisive. No one knows what they want to be. My daughter changes her mind every day.
I love it. That's so funny. Well, she still has a few more weeks to figure it out.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're actually starting off this week with our clapback of the week, and it goes to Halsey. Now, she clapped back at the illusion that her postpartum body has bounced back nearly 3 months after giving birth. In an Instagram slideshow, they wrote, "I did Saturday Night Live 2 nights ago, and a lot of people were quick to say how good I looked. That was a weird feeling. My body has felt like a stranger's for a long time. I uphold myself to honesty to the point of oversharing sometimes, but this feels important. The first picture on this slide is days after my baby was already born. A lot of people don't know that you still look pregnant for a while after. It is still changing, and I am letting it." They continued in their Instagram post writing, "No interest in working out. I'm too tired and I'm too busy playing with my darling son." With that being said, the body behind all those compliments the other night was wearing a costume tailored outfit and lighted perfectly after much testing so I could feel good and do my job. I do not want to feed the illusion that you're meant to feel and look great immediately postpartum. That is not my narrative currently. If you've been following me because you're also a parent and you dig what I'm doing, please know I'm in your corner. I will never have my pre-baby body back, no matter how it changes physically, because I now have had a baby. They concluded by writing, "That change is permanent and I don't want to go back, but in the spirit of honesty, I'm really tired and not a superhuman. And this is really hard, doing my best to serve my art and my family whilst keeping it all very real." So true. I mean, you see these celebrities bounce back all the time and you're like, how do they do it? How do they do it? But no, sometimes they have the outfits that are cinching in their waists and, they have the
lighting.
Yes, it makes a difference. And at least she's keeping it real, which I really appreciate.
She is. And then also, I also feel like we are just so equipped to say, oh my God, you look amazing. No matter whether someone just had surgery or someone just had a baby. For instance, my 7-year-old neighbor just had hip surgery. And every time I see her, I'm like, oh my God, you look so good. Mm-hmm. But it's just because she does. And I was just giving her a compliment. And I think we do that too when people have babies, Oh, totally. So I get it. I get what, it's saying.
Yeah. And she saw, and I love that she posted all these photos too, because I think a lot of people, if you haven't had a baby, you don't realize that you still look like you're 5 months pregnant after you give birth for a while. You don't just bounce back immediately. It doesn't once the baby pops out, your stomach is flat again. No, that's not the case.
Absolutely. Totally.
And you never get your pre-baby body back, no matter how hard you try.
No, it will never. And if you do, you are, I don't know. Superhuman, I guess. Oh my God. So in our celeb mom and dad chat this week, we sat down with Spencer Pratt, who shared how being a dad has changed him. So take a look at this.
Oh, you mentioned Gunnar before. How's he doing? And how has fatherhood really changed you?
We just got back from, I did a live podcast with superstar Heather McDonald in the OC. So we stayed at the Pelican Hill Resort and then we drove to the San Diego Zoo. And who knew the San Diego Zoo? I'd say fatherhood has changed me because I am literally a different person. I'm sure other people can relate once you become a parent, but if you had told me even 4 years ago that I would be walking 6 miles around a zoo, just things as simple as that, like, and then it's, and like staying positive and be like, look over here, it's the koala bears. Like you just go down to a new level, or like I'm so like I'm a skincare freak, and I'm super hypersensitive about like things being dirty. Like I'm not down with getting in hotel pools. That's not my thing. I'm down with like, tanning next to them, having a nice tropical drink or something. But here I am, like in the hotel pool with Gunner with like goggles on, and everybody just around me peeing all around me, just like just everyone's pee on me. Is just like, I was like, oh my God, I am really a dad. So it's just things as simple like this morning, I was just some stranger's pee.
Things you do for your children.
Yeah, it's just, which it also has got me where, I had goals of trying to be the, Kim K level, rich and famous. But then thankfully now being a dad, just the simple moments of just being grounded as a parent are so powerful that they, not saying I wouldn't love being Kim K rich and famous, but like my priorities, like now it just sounds kind of like, oh yeah, but just being able to do basic things like sitting there this morning at 6:45 a.m. in the hotel cafe, sharing a hot cocoa, and Gunner telling me like, Dad, it's really hot. Like, don't have a big sip. I'm just like, this is the best part of life.
Aw, that's awesome. I love that so much.
I mean, swimming pools like in the hotel, that's hilarious, right?
I love that. It was like such like an odd thing to bring up, but he's like, yeah, I'm like, swimming in other people's pee, and I never thought I would do this before. But it's so funny. But the things that you do for your kids that you like, you never thought that you would do. Is there something in particular that sticks out in your mind?
Oh my God. I don't know. I guess like a water park situation. Like I was never into them, and we've taken the kids, we've been there, done that, never have to go back again. Like it's just not my thing, but I did it for my kids. Right. I don't know. How about you?
I don't know. I feel like we haven't like gotten into that stage yet because, we had COVID and everything like that. But I do have to say, like, I've never thought I would listen to Daniel Tiger more in my life, which drives me insane. I'm like, don't you want to listen to anything else? But now she's starting to like figure out because Alexa. So every day, Alexa, play Moana. Alexa, play Cinderella. So it's cute, but it's like, I'm like, is everything else except for Daniel Tiger is totally fine.
Right. Oh my God. We were like that with Frozen. I mean, it was on non-stop, the movie. I mean, over and over again. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm singing to this. Right. So something like that.
No, it's stuck in your head like all day long. Like I had a Moana song stuck in my head all day long yesterday, but it's funny. At least the music's good.
Right. There you go.
Totally. All right. Well, we also chatted with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Kyle Richards about how she and husband Mauricio keep their daughters grounded. Listen to this. Obviously, you mentioned your daughters before, and you've been, in the spotlight since you were a little girl, but your daughters seem so grounded. How do you and Mauricio make it seem, give a normal life to your girls and make it seem like they're so grounded?
Just having it be an open conversation. With each of my kids, we had different circumstances.
Yeah.
When my husband and I were first married, we were, I had to like have a babysitter one night a week for us to be able to do something because we were not in the financial position to have live-in help or anything like that. So, with each kids, we had a different circumstance. And then as, we started to become more successful, and it was actually concerning to me. So it was an open conversation, we weren't always in this position and your sisters didn't have this. And, many people don't have, what you have. We have to be grateful. We have to give back. Something I think is really important to do, and I've done this with all of my kids, is each year we sponsor a family from Children's Hospital Los Angeles, where we get their wish list of Christmas gifts that they want. And sometimes it's, simple things like pencils and socks. And my kids are, taken aback by, and I, it's important for them to know that. Yeah. And we go and we buy them these gifts, and it feels so good to, drive them to these people's homes and, give them whatever their video games and all the fun things, in addition to their such a humble wish list, that, all that stuff's so important, and it makes an impact on them and forms who they are as a person. So we make a point to do that.
Yeah, I like that they give back. They sponsor a family from a children's hospital every holiday season, which I think is great. Do you have ways to get your kids involved in giving back?
We do. We're part of a community outreach out in the Hamptons. So the kids have packed bags, and we've gone shopping for, anyone who's in need. So they participate in that. And then soup kitchens. I mean, I don't know how it's happening right now with COVID, but Ryder and I were able to go into like a soup kitchen here in New York City a couple of years ago. And just like giving back, donating whenever we can, wherever we can, and like showing them going through their clothes, and just packing that up and just doing that kind of thing with them, just so they know that we have to give back.
Yeah, I think it's so important. It really is. And I love how they do that every single holiday season. And it becomes a tradition in sorts, which I think is a good one to have. Totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, in some sad news this week, Jill Duggar mourned the loss of baby number 3 after suffering a miscarriage. She wrote on Instagram, "We recently found out we were expecting our 3rd baby. We were thrilled. However, a few days later, we started miscarrying. We love and miss you, River Bliss." Now, she shared some emotional footage along with her post, and the former reality star and her husband, Duggar Dillard, showed a positive pregnancy test and told their sons, Israel, who was 6, and Samuel, who was 4, that they had a younger sibling on the way. They also posted a blog that same day explaining the meaning behind the name that they chose, writing, "One meaning for river is tranquil. And here in Arkansas, rivers are often a serene, beautiful escape in nature. We also like how the river talked about in the Bible represents God's life-giving presence. The river of life, Holy Spirit, flows from the throne of God, and with the tree of life is for the healing of the nations. Our baby doesn't get to live here with us on earth, but is forever with the source of the river of life in the presence of the Lord. And we chose Bliss for a middle name because our baby is living in perfect bliss with the Lord and was such a gift that brought immense joy and happiness to us, even though it was only here with us on earth for a short period of time." So heartbreaking.
My heart breaks for them. This is so sad. It's so sad.
It is so sad. I spoke to them a few months back and I asked, if they were planning on expanding their family. They still were kind of on the fence about it. And they said that they were really open to adoption. But obviously things changed, and it's heartbreaking, but it is good that they share it because so many people go through the same thing, and then they can relate to it as well.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. So our heart goes out to them for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, so in our Mom's Getting Real moment goes to Caitlyn Carter, the Hills New Beginning star, describes her prenatal depression this week, 1 month after welcoming her son, Rowan. During a Skinny Confidential Him and Her podcast episode, she said, "It was really bizarre and very confusing and upsetting to me because I had wanted a baby for so long. The hormones just sent me into a downward spiral. The best way I can describe it as everything in the world turned to black and white, and there was nothing that could really get me to feel. I felt like I had no emotion, like my personality disappeared. The scariest part for me was not knowing how long that was going to last. For me, at 11 weeks exactly, it just went away and I felt so much more normal." Yeah, I feel like we all feel like that, right? I mean, postpartum, it's a thing. And I'm glad that she's opening up about it and she's talking about it, because I feel like so many women do feel like that. And then they feel guilty for feeling like that.
No, totally. And it's a normal thing to feel too. And I feel like, what she said, like a lot of people don't talk about the prenatal depression, which is something like that. I don't think that you probably even expect to happen, but it does. I've known a couple, I didn't have to go through it myself, but I do know a couple of women that did. And, it's kind of like throws you for a loop because you're like, oh my God, I've wanted this for so long, but how am I dealing with all these different emotions and hormones? And of course you topple that with like morning sickness. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It is. The first 3 months are so tough of a pregnancy, but you're right. I feel like maybe we don't talk about that as much as we do postpartum, so.
Yeah. And I think like, especially in the first trimester, you have all this anxiety too. Like, I know for me, like every ache or, twitch or something like that, I was like, oh my God, something's wrong. And then it kind of messes with your mind too, until you hit like that, maybe like that 12-week period, it's a lie. You're kind of like, you're playing mind games with yourself a little bit.
Absolutely. And even like getting that list of food that you can and can't eat, like I feel like that sent me into like a spiral because I was like, oh my God, wait, I have to stop eating this, I have to do that. And like it just made me overthink about all those things.
Oh, no, yeah, you kind of drive yourself crazy. I'm like, no soft cheese. What?
Right.
Don't tell me that.
Right.
But yeah, no, but it is. I'm glad that she opened up about it. She has this beautiful new baby boy. So hopefully she is settling into motherhood nicely.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Moms Like Us. Brianne, thank you so much as always.
Thank you. And I'll see you next week.
Yes, make sure to check in every Wednesday on Us Weekly's YouTube channel for Moms Like Us. And make sure you listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.